Hello, hello. I don't expect anybody to be here, but if you are here, well, welcome. We're going to start soon here, probably about 6 o'clock. So, you just sit tight, grab a beverage, right? If your cat is nearby, pet the cat, etc. And I will see you soon. Hello, hello. I don't know who's here, but my goodness, I'm just so happy you're here. Uh, I'm going to put it back on the waiting screen. So, we'll talk soon, I promise. begin shortly. I know there's nobody here. I'm just going to talk to myself. You know, it's a normal thing. People do it. I'll tell you what. Let's see here. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Just gonna get the old board set up here and all that good stuff. You just give me a moment here. Da da da. Dee 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 dee. Well, well, well. If anyone's here, you know, you could, I don't know, say something. It's classic. You gotta love it. Let's see here. Do 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 do. I have too many windows open. Let me close some of this nonsense off here. Too many windows open. What if I do this? Boom. You with me? Boom. Boom. Tremendous. The system. It works. Okay. Go down there like that. Plop that on in there. Oh my God, it looks so good. Yeah, nobody's here. That's all good. It's all good. And we go back to let's see. Should I use this one? Probably. I should probably use this one. Let me do this here. Boom. Outstanding. There we are. Oh, you know what? Joke's on me. We're just waiting for this. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, that's lame. Just waiting for this guy to kick off here. So you just sit tight. Sit tight. Back to the waiting room. Should I use this one? Or this one? Probably this one. Probably this one. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Oh. How are you doing? My one and only viewer. That's okay. I expect people to, you know, come in by the thousands once they understand, you know, the games have started. Thousands. Well, the thing is, I got this hat for my cat. Actually, I didn't get it. Someone else got it for me. And they're not too happy. Even right now, they're looking at me like, get that thing out of my face. Another thing they don't like is, you know, this pumpkin hat. So, you know, it's life's hard, man. You know, you work your heart out for the feline, and yeah. But I'm doing okay. How's the family? How's the children, the child, the one child? Sorry, YouTube. Yeah, that's how cats are. You know what? I'm gonna show you these chess memes. I think you'll like them a lot. You'll appreciate them. And we're back. So, allegedly, we're going to have a live video of the room where it happens. We'll see if that's real or not. But I've been told that it is. And you know what they say, if you've been told something, it must be true. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Let me just get serious here. Okay. Now. Now. Serious mode activated. Let's see here. I think by the time I find a haircut that is not an army fade, I will have lost all of my hair. Let's take a look here. I've been playing a lot of Queen's Gambits lately. Quite a few. You know, this is my second pair because the cat chewed through the wire. This is why I have this like mesh over it, and it worked. It worked. These are not clip-ons. These are the headphones. This is it. Anyways, I've been playing a lot of Queen's Gambits lately, like so, and it's been good. We basically just spit out these moves every time, no matter what, every single time, and I get a nice reliable game. Believe it or not, you can play knight to e2 here because we're building up for e4. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I think I just wanted to talk about chess for some reason. Imagine that, for some reason, right? Let's turn that off. Yeah. And strangely enough, the theory here is for the knight to actually go here. Looks very strange. Very strange. There's 2,000 games in this position, just from this position alone, which is wild, man. Boom, there we go, right? F3, building up to E4. Look at how much ammunition we got. We can further weaken E4 by eliminating the knight, or we could keep it around, right? That'd be tremendous. Rook A to D1, we're gonna, we're doing good things, and super grandmaster move. We're not even threatened on the diagonal, but yet we're gonna step away, right? Just tremendous. And the theory has ended, but my God, I've been having such a good time with the Queen's Gambit. And you know it's good if there's a long name in chess.com, like the Queen's Gambit Declined Exchange, Positional Line, Reshevsky Variation. You love it. You love to see it. That means that it's a thing. It's a thing, right? Let's see. Let's just delete all of this. Boom. It's all gone. Where are we at, boys? Where's everybody? How we doing, gentlemen? Come on, let me get like some updates here. Someone, anyone, Nothing? Dang, man. Well, that's okay. They're usually a little... It's a little rough getting this event started. It's an awesome event. They just kind of chill at the house. Word vomit. Yeah, right. Recently, we had our regional championship, and I was stalling. For time because we had to prepare the trophies. So I just started getting up there and saying anything. And apparently, allegedly, I was tapping my feet like a tap dancer, and moving back and forth, so on and so forth, as you do when you're saying an unplanned speech. I think for an unplanned speech, it was pretty good. But I'll tell you what, let me see if I can get a puzzle up here for you. We haven't talked chess in so long. I mean, it's brutal, man. This is a pretty good one I did the other day that I was rather impressed by, if I do say so myself. I'm the same way I pace. Yeah, I know exactly. Exactly here. So the eval bar kind of gives it away, but it's mate in 7. I wonder if you can figure it out. Oops. Heyo. There we go. The evaluation bar, so on the left, how it's solid white, that means it says mate in 7. So you know that that it's mate soon, right? No, it's not mate in 1, but that's okay. We're close. Oh, no worries. I really need a second monitor. This is craziness, man. I'll tell you what, while we're here, we're gonna do this. Boom and boom. Let's see here. Do. Maybe, just maybe, I should do this. This is what I think here. Let's do that. Stay with me. Stay with me. Such a patient viewer. Oops. We'll add the chat because you're gonna see the board, but you might not see the chat. If there is chat, So, there you go. Now I can see the chat. And that's good. That's a good thing, I think. Nobody's told me anything. Be a lot cooler if you did. So what do you think about this puzzle, man? It's kind of rough, isn't it? A lot of calculating, yeah? Oh, chat's not updating. Sweet. Outstanding. Already found a... there it is. Already found a kink in the plan here. Oh well. Tell you what. Since it's just you and me, this sucks. I'm going back to the analysis board. Boom. All right. My entire scene exploded, so give me a moment. Yep, completely exploded. Yeah, okay. The whole thing just exploded into a million pieces. So, that's okay, you know. The games haven't even started. We're going to just rebuild all of them. We can rebuild it. We have the technology. Plus, nobody is giving me any indication of when this is starting. So, we have plenty. And I mean plenty of time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of all this nonsense. And I'm just going to do it again. Because I am competent. Yes, sir. Competent. Let's call this analysis board. Yeah, I clicked something and everything just exploded. Chess.com. Everything just completely exploded. Okay. Boom. Good. All right, let's do this. We'll do that. Tremendous. Oh yeah, this is it. We got it. I'll even leave white and black on there so you know who's who. Look how nice I am. Tremendous. Yes. Good. That's like most of the stream right there. I mean, okay. Let me scoot this guy over here. Now I'm going to get the DGT board up here. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Let's do that. It'll be all right. I'm not too concerned. I sat around for 40 minutes and nothing happened, and then everything happened. So, you know, it's all good. The move is not bishop takes d5, by the way. That is a good move, but the move is queen takes f8 check, which is just tremendous. Who could have seen it coming? Go ahead, do that calculation for me out there if you're watching. Just insane, wonderful. All right, DGT. Let's see here. There it is. There she is. Okay. Just gonna go ahead. You can see there's nothing up there, so I'm not missing anything. Boom. There it is. And, good golly, Miss Molly, look how much space we have over here for the chat, the YouTube chat. It's incredible. The system works. All right. Let's do another one. YouTube chat. Yes, sir. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Boom. And boom. We got it. It's gonna be all right, y'all. All right. Hey, 4 viewers. Look at us go. I would really love to know when if and when the the game will start. I will tell you just as soon as I know, but nobody's picking up their phone. And it's killing me, right? I don't know what's going on. So, just as soon as I do know what's going on, you know what? You'll be the first to know, I promise. Okay? All right. Isn't that lovely? There we go. Boom. All right. Now, let's get just as much board as we can here. All right? Tremendous. Well, wherever you are in the world, hello. Hello from West Texas. This tournament is going to be in Waco, Texas, but they're broadcasting live all over the world. Yours truly has the honor of commentating. Isn't that just tremendous? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about some chess, right? And hopefully, quite possibly get you to subscribe to the channel and maybe even play on Tuesday nights, which I understand it's a Tuesday night right now, but couldn't really control the timing of this tournament. But that's okay. I told my friend I'm streaming. He really has the nerve to say streaming what? I mean, is it your first day? Like, come on, guy. You're killing me. Streaming what? Ridiculous. Streaming chess, my guy. Come on. I'm going to say, wow. Insulting. Okay, I'm getting word. People are getting here late, which is awesome. Tremendous. Yes, great. Let's see here. Go ahead and say something if you're here. Or, or don't. That's fine too. Either way, man, oh man, I'm happy that you're here. Tremendous. We're going to figure out who's playing just as soon as we can. Because I don't know. I do not know. I do not have the knowing. I have not the know. So, Ethan is taking his time. Yeah. Well, he does live so far away. We'll be with you shortly. Don't you worry. Do not fret. I'm going to put the waiting screen on, okay? You guys just chill, okay? Let's see. Waiting room. All right, starting soon. Don't you worry. I know I said that, you know, a while ago. However, hey, it's all good. It's a work in progress, okay? I don't know who's here, but I'm just going to talk about this position because I think it's great. So you might notice by the evaluation bar, this is a mate in 7 moves for white. But how? Well, the first thing you want to consider, if you have no earthly idea what to do in a chess puzzle, the first thing you want to consider are what are called forcing moves. Forcing moves. Checks, captures, and attacks in that order. It's very important that you do it in that order. Checks, captures, and attacks. So, you find all the checks in the position. Like, for instance, bishop takes. Okay, not bad. After bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, and queen can take on d5. King can move over to h8. That's okay. Maybe there's something better, like perhaps, oh, I don't know, boom. Queen takes f8 check. Now why? Why on God's green earth would you do a thing like that? Well, that's where the calculation comes in. The reason you would do a crazy thing like that, and I want you to notice this, check out what color square we would get the queen onto. Boom. You see this alignment? Boom. And boom. Double check. That's a thing. Why is that so important? Well, in double check, the king has to move. There's no option. There's no option whatsoever, right? And normally you block, you run, you capture, but in double check, you have to run. You have to. Spaceships outside. So, if the king moves to g8, oh, la-di-da, checkmate. If the king moves to e8, well, we're going to continue to give forcing moves. Boom. Right? How does he block this? Well, important to note, if he moves over, okay, we have the beautiful rook f8, and look how all these pieces control the king. It's tremendous. Queen blocks. Oh, buddy, that's checkmate, right? If the king moves, for instance, king d8, or we just talked about that. If the king blocks, b5, we take. If he blocks again, we take. And we have the same thing. And it's a bad, garbage day for the other side. Yes, sirree. So, that's a nice puzzle for the one person waiting. The one person out there who I just absolutely adore. Apparently, we've started. So I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of the evidence here. Okay? I'll tell you what. We'll just get a whole nother board. And we'll refresh this guy. Because apparently we started. Oh my God. Okay. We have Daryl West and Daniel Gell. And what do you know? The Sicilian defense is on the board. So let's take a look. Hey, he's back. Good. Let's take a look, why don't we? I just got to get updated here. All right, we've got e4, c5 on the board. e4, c5, the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, d6, very good. Oh, I'm sorry. e6, d4. Takes. Knight c6, knight c3. Very standard moves here. Queen c7. And finally, a moment to pause. So, Sicilian defense. I don't play the Sicilian defense. However, I can see the chessboard in front of me. And I think we're going to have a good game. We have Mr. Darrell West with the white pieces and Daniel Gell with black. So let me go ahead and update that. Oh my God, why did that happen? Let's see. Darrell West and Daniel Gell. Tremendous. Nice and updated. Why the pause on move 2? Well, let's consider what white would like out of the position. What would white like? White wants to develop, right? Obviously. Taking with the knight would not make a lick of sense, and these two players are too good for that kind of thing. They're not just going to allow the other to develop. It's just not going to happen. Oh, it's a kitty cat. White really has, a couple ideas here. He's considering, do I want to castle queenside? Do I want to launch an attack, a crazy attack? Do I want to play moves like bishop e2? Do I want to play bishop e3, right? You can go a lot of different ways here. If I were white, I would probably just continue very conservatively, but the weight on move 5 does kind of concern me. Here we have bishop e3 on the board. Okay. Black. What does black want? Well, you see this queen here is controlling this awesome diagonal. That's kind of why, this bishop couldn't go out here. It would have been nice, but black did not allow it, right? a6 on the board, preventing white from jumping in to b5, something that is rather annoying. We have continued development, bishop e2. And again, the big decision, queenside or kingside. If it were me, I am crazy. I am absolutely insane. And I would probably castle queenside. The time limit on the game is game in 30, I believe. I don't have the times up on the board, but if it becomes relevant, I will bring it up. Perhaps when I get a break, I can put it on the board. Knight f6, attacking the e-pawn, which is, of course, defended, but hey, cat came up here and is breaking stuff. Developing towards the center, very good. Kingside castle would be interesting here. And by interesting, I mean completely fine in every way, shape, and form, and that's what we get. It's almost like I'm clairvoyant, or I'm telling the players what to play. Interesting. Very interesting. But that is a good question. It is game in 30. Game in 30. Okay, black to move. We would love to develop this bishop. When e6 is played, g6 is kind of off the table. So this guy's going to come out to b4. I would pretty much put money on it. Oh, well, or we just play b5. That works too. This is fine. Totally fine. This bishop's coming out to b7 eventually. And we have a pleasant game. I mean, you can sort of see indirect pressure on e4 here, but there are so many little tricks in the Sicilian defense. Where does white go from here? There's aggressive moves like f4, just seizing space, charging forward. There's moves like, well, very simply exchanging would be interesting. I think this looks natural, but there's issues here. E5. It's a little gross. And, you know, you could sort of get kind of gross pawns here, I think is the threat. But let's go back, because we actually have knight takes on the board. And I'm curious to see which way Daniel will take back with. He's probably seen something like this before. Daniel's very experienced. So is Daryl. Two very, very good players here. I think it would probably be better to take with the D pawn, even though it looks weird because it allows you to play C5 again and sort of control more space here. But I mean, I've been surprised before. In fact, every time I go outside, I'm surprised by something new. The move to b5 did not update on the board. It should be... Yeah, I got to keep refreshing it. That's the problem. Not a fan. I only have one monitor, so it's kind of like, you know, kind of being lame. Sorry about that. Going on a walk. Oh, tremendous. Physical exercise. I'm proud of you, man. We do see D takes C6. And I think that's the correct decision. I'm going to try my best not to reference the engine because, you know, we're human beings. And in case you didn't know, human beings play chess differently than computers. And I don't think the engine is all that relevant most of the time. So, where will white go from here? I wonder, I wonder. I still like moves like f4 because, see, I like the Grand Prix attack, which actually starts out, you know, earlier in the game after knight c3 playing f4, and you kind of build up for a kingside attack. And as I say that, we've got some funkiness on the some funkiness on the DGT board. Allow me a moment to decide what is reality and what is not, because first I saw rook to b1, then I saw a3. I'm going to go ahead and decide for the rest of us that a3 is in fact reality. A3, controlling b4. Perhaps he was concerned about a move like b4, which would indeed dislodge the defender. A lot of D's in that sentence, excuse me. Which would certainly remove the defender of the e-pawn. I believe that's the concern anyways. Whether or not that threat is actually present, who knows? But in a 30-minute game, you know, 30-minute delay 5 like we have here, you don't exactly want to sit around and think all day. You don't have the time, right? You're going for a very solid position. Bishop b7, long term eyeing the king side, eyeing e4. It's very good. Very good development, good pressure. This bishop needs a home. I think in due time that bishop will find a home. In due time. Goodness me, this is just not updating, is it? Okay. f4. Very good. Very happy to see f4. I think this is the best way to go. And I don't even think it's prep. I think this is just what Daryl knows. And yeah, that's great. And here we see some brilliant attacking ideas. I say brilliant. They're thematic and they're smart. They're smart little adjustments. So the move Queen E1 looks strange for the uninitiated. However, this is actually going to allow the queen to reroute to that kingside and perhaps launch an attack in the future. I say perhaps. They will certainly launch an attack in the future. This will allow white to better utilize the queen on moves like queen h4, queen to g3. We could potentially have some rook lifts in here. And my goodness, I can barely speak without a move being played. What do you know? There's an attack on the e4 pawn. And how Daryl treats this is really going to be revealing. A very quick move, right? Bishop f3. Also possible was the move e5, dislodging that defender, that knight on f6. However, we have bishop to f3, which is not a bad move. I mean, I think long term this square kind of belongs to the rook if we're going to try to launch an attack, but certainly not a mistake in any way, shape, or form. And plus we have this long-term X-ray. Well, they're both X-raying each other. They're both very very talented X-ray techs, these bishops. They went to school. Their family's proud. It was tremendous. And you know, opening up tactics in the future, if that queen ever moves and undefends that bishop, move like e5 would be very interesting. So Daniel has to be aware of potentialities, not to sound complicated. Has to be aware of potential tactics. If you're fancy, you say tactiques with a Q-U-E-S, right? Nobody says that. I say it, but I'm being silly, right? Okay. We have a bishop on e7 as I take a breath. Now, where to go, what to do? Well, if I'm the white pieces, I don't like that bishop on b7. And in fact, I think I will play a move like e5 to open this up. And, you know, if this exchange happens, that's not good, is it? Because we have tactics. There's those tactics, right? So instead of exchanging, because it looks natural, you block. You block, right? I wonder what Daryl will go for here. Because e5 feels good. You just have to kind of calculate the lines, right? You don't want to go in blind. A move like e5 I would play definitely in my Grand Prix attack. And the reason is, see, it kicks this defender, kicks it around, and now the king side is significantly weaker. Now you don't want to allow this, so you'd probably capture back, and you know, this is fine. It's just fine, right? You hit g7, and life goes on here. Castles is probably the move, and then you continue just launching forward with all these pieces, poised to attack. Poised. Good word, poised. I don't use that word often. Sometimes there's words that we know exist, that we know we should play, and we just don't. That we should play, that we should use. I had coffee. It's 6 o'clock. I probably shouldn't have. Ladies and gentlemen, we have e5 on the board, knight to d5. How will Daryl deal with this? I wonder. It's getting to the point where the live board is behind the analysis board, which I just think is hilarious. We have knight takes, we have bishop takes. Very, very interesting. And the board has updated, thank God for that. I really miss my broadcasting counterpart, because then I don't have to say everything. You know what I mean? A pause here from black. Why? Well, how to capture back. Never mind. This is a very good match because they're not giving me any time at all to get a sentence out, and I'm fine with it. We're going to get through this, I promise. Let's see how the rest of this game develops here. I'm going to take a look here and see what we have. By the way, the time situation, Daryl West, 21 minutes. Daniel Gell, 23 minutes. Very interesting. We have these two bishops here. This bishop sort of behind the pawn chain, not as active. And the black bishop just kind of playing defense at the moment. We have our answer, folks. Rook to d1. We're liquidating quite a bit. I don't know. I think probably takes, and castles will appear on the board. I don't believe it would be good to allow takes. I think these pawns are better than they were before, and you know, I would not be a fan of this if I were the white pieces. This does not spark joy. I would be concerned about these marching pawns because all of a sudden we've got 4 on 3. Wow. Okay. Rook takes d1 as predicted, and it's gonna be queen takes d1. Good. I wonder. When will they blunder? It's just a little rhyme. You know, just a little bit of fun. And my clairvoyant streak continues. Incredible. I hate to say it, but I feel like we have our first draw of the evening on board 1. Again, hate to say it, but I think it's the truth. We'll see who makes the first consequential decision. 20 minutes for Daryl, 22 for Daniel. I wonder. What could we see here? We have a couple options. I mean, right off the bat, I would get my queen off of this open file. Queen f3, queen e2. I mean, let's be honest, it was on e1, and that was a great spot. But in this situation, I think we have to allow the rook some mobility. So I think queen e1 would be a mistake. Good God, the monster truck's outside, man. That's just wild. I don't get it. I do not get it. Yeah, move like queen f3. I mean, even something like c3 would be okay. But I'm expecting queen e2. That's what I'm expecting as Daryl drops below 20 minutes. With like queen e2, we could see something like, you know, rook to d8. Golly, I mean, if you really want to be... Oh, hey. Spoke too soon. It looks like the board is updated. We have a very strange move that I understand, actually. Not strange at all. Rook to f2, meaning to meet rook d8 with rook to d2. Not strange at all now that I take more than 1 second to look at it. Very logical. Very logical. And in this position, I mean, let's be honest, folks. He's going to take, and he's going to take. And that's a fact. That's just a fact. Wow. Have I predicted most of this game? Yes. Is that a good thing? I don't really know. I can't say one way or another if that's a good thing. But I know that these two will make for an exciting, instructive, solid endgame, no matter how they get there. No matter how they get there. Options, options. Decisions, decisions. Well, so long as the bishop guards the back rank, we're good. But hey, maybe maybe some luft for the king at some point, some space, right? Some escape route, right? Escape hatch, escape pods, something with the word escape in it. You can use your imagination. However, looking very drawish in my most humble of opinions. I've played Daryl in tournaments. He's very good. I have not played Daniel. He was my first chess teacher, though. He's a very solid player. Very solid. Both these guys reliably 1700, 1800 strength. Very solid play. We're not going to see any nonsense or silliness here, which is why we're blessed to have this as, round one. Now, if I'm Daniel here, in this current position, I'm probably thinking about either taking or potentially pushing c4, making things a little more uncomfortable for white. Eventually, that's going to be kind of significant. These advanced pawns could also be thinking about moves like g6, right? There we go. It's on the board, folks. It's on the board. I feel like if I were in this position, I would probably offer a draw and go eat dinner and come back. But, that's okay. We all have these games. In fact, this is 60 to 70% of the games that I have. What to do? I mean, it's Black's turn. Black is in the driver's seat. Probably a move like, well, if I'm being honest, I'm expecting this. Oh, never mind. That does not spark joy. I take it back. What I'm expecting, it's a dumb move I would play, right? Hang a pawn, lose the game. What I'm expecting is a same colored bishop drawn endgame. Moves like b4 come to mind. We have all this pressure this way, right? And good God, 2 versus 2 here. Dark square bishops. That would allow this guy to open up, though. So maybe something else. Doing my best, folks. But you know what? I can't tell you how amazed I am to be predicting. But if we're honest, it's sort of like saying, it'll rain next month. That's kind of what I'm saying, is it'll rain next month. So it's not really that crazy, if I'm honest. I know, giving myself a lot of credit. Imagine that. But I'm really curious to see this endgame because I think it will be instructive for everybody. And what we often see in these positions is it should be a draw. It should be a draw. Should. Right? And the heartbreak comes when the draw dissolves from one bad move. So that's why I'm excited about this game, even though it's rather drawish. It's Black to move. How do you maintain an advantage? Well, you could try to sneak in here, right? With Queen A5, you could make some room for your king. Oh, hey, what do you know, folks? We have queen e5, queen a5 rather, on the board, attempting to sneak in to e1 and, you know, for instance, win the game, potentially, right? That would be bad for white, because black would play queen e1 checkmate with advantage, as Ben Feingold says, and I would have to wait, right? But at this current point in time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a break, and I'm going to run to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Hey, we're back. Guess what? I got Cracker Barrel, and it's great. And I am so happy because my wonderful fiance brought me Cracker Barrel. Let's update the board because I unceremoniously took a break. After queen a5 threatening checkmate with advantage, bishop d2. Quite obviously, you know, attacking the queen with advantage. I keep saying that. I've been watching a lot of Ben Feingold. That's okay. So, back to white. What to do? Again, I'm going to say it. I've said it before. It's a draw. But I'll say it again. Because it's still a draw. And what do you know? We have a repetition. Scary. Because I have been spouting out words for about 30 minutes, talking about how it might be a draw, and we have our first repetition. So if we have a second repetition, I will shut my mouth and I will eat my pancakes. In fact, I think I might shut my mouth and eat my pancakes anyways. What do you think? Okay. Cracker Barrel and chess. Could not imagine a more idyllic evening. Tremendous. If you have the black pieces here, the only thing, and I mean the only thing you can do to cause an imbalance is probably make a mistake. And if I know Daniel, which I do know Daniel, Daniel does not want to make a mistake because he doesn't want to lose. I know, hard-hitting commentary, right? Truth is, my brain sort of turns off when I'm looking at these pancakes. And there's only 3.5 people watching anyways, so you will understand if I eat my dinner. which coincidentally is breakfast. Try not to get confused. Okay, there's our imbalance. Daniel sat back and decided, I don't want a draw. I want to play chess today. And Daryl said, well, that's too bad because I'm offering a draw with queen to b6, which, you know what? That's fair. I would do the same thing. I would do probably the exact same thing. And I say that being nice to myself because I probably would have messed up prior to this. These guys are pretty great players. And I'm out of practice. So, will he accept the trade? Let's look at our options. Queen takes, bishop takes, and it's a draw. Other option, queen back, queen takes, bishop takes, it's a draw. Other options, queen d7, threatening, well, that, right, again. And we have a repetition. And guess what? It's a draw. So, place your bets. Tell me, what do you think is going to happen? All three of you watching. After queen b6, will we see queen takes? Or will we see a retreat? What do you think? Continue to think while I pour this delectable blueberry syrup on my scrumptious blueberry pancakes. Delightful. Thank you, my dear. You've made my day. Okay. Did it come with syrup too, or did they just bring this? Oh, it's okay. I accept that. This fat boy don't be needing syrup. That's the truth. A lot of people, you know, talk badly about Cracker Barrel. I hate those people. I think they're miserable because Cracker Barrel is just objectively good. Okay. Daniel says, get that thing away from me. I don't want a draw. Boom. Now here's the question. Can black actually avoid a draw? Because every move that makes sense here is going to lead to a draw, like queen d4. And we're repeating again. I think it's going to be a draw. That's my prediction. It's not very ambitious, right? But I would do the same thing because this position is a draw. It just is. It's not like, oh, I don't feel like it. It's like, no, it's raining outside. It doesn't matter if you feel like it's raining outside. It is raining outside, so you're going to have to accept that. I don't think either one wants to allow the other queen to get into the position because there's some nastiness that could occur if, for instance, the bishop and the queen are both hitting f8. That would be a disaster. And if we look at the time, Daniel has 13 minutes, Daryl has 14. We're really getting down to the wire here, and I think it's going to feel interesting for them in about 2 or 3 minutes when the draw is offered, that they could have just done it 10 minutes prior and gotten some of the awesome food that Jason and Sarah have probably provided them. If I was at Jason's right now, I would offer a draw and I would eat like half the food in his kitchen. Not like half of what they, just half of everything. And Yeah. Okay. Wow. So the draw chronicles continue with bishop to d4 and queen to d5. Now that's interesting because as the astute among you may notice, eat the food and pet the cats. Exactly, Jim. I agree. As the astute among you may notice, the evaluation bar has swung in favor of the black pieces. But why is that? Well, I'm not certain, but I think it has something to do with the queen coming into e4 and having access to everything. Like everything in the position. And these pawns become difficult to defend. Annoying to defend, right? And the thing about these positions is black probably knows that he's better, but it's hard to find the concrete way forward. Because us chess players are just the worst. We have this feeling, we're like, oh, it's better. And then we make a move that just torpedoes the whole position. And that's like how I lose most of my games. Or I get outplayed completely. But I wonder if Daniel is having that thought process at the moment. And Daryl's probably understanding, okay, maybe this queen can get into the position and that's not good. For instance, you know, moves like rook e3 would fall to queen d1 check. I mean, king f2 would get the king more involved, but then here I come anyways. I'm hitting this, I'm hitting that. Queen to b8 check is probably the most natural, followed by queen d8. I think it's got to be queen b8 check. I mean, if you do anything else, you know, it's kind of does not spark joy, is how I would put it. Yeah, you've got to hit that back rank, and now at this point, I think it was a mutual draw before, but now it's really White's job to draw the game and save himself, essentially. Let's not forget that the queen defends the bishop, so we got to be careful where that queen goes. If anyone out there plays chess, I want to know what you would do. White to move, what would you do? And the only reason I'm asking is because I want to take a bite of these pancakes. That's the only reason. Definitely want to stream again with Matthew so I can share the experience. So I can only imagine Daryl is considering queen b8 check, or trying to find some sort of concrete variation. I hope he's not looking at a move like c3, because that just doesn't work, right? And but why? Well, queen e4. That's really the concrete reply to any passivity, essentially. Some of you, not naming any names, might be wondering, why not take the pawn? Well, that has the unfortunate side effect of losing the whole game, for instance. And it looks like at some point I got mixed up. Let's see. Here. Queen d4. There. After h5, queen here, there. Oh yeah, okay. Understood. So this is main line here. And then queen d5. Boom. Okay, I'll promote that. Boom. We're good. Some point there I got confused. But I'm back. It's all good. It's all good. Can't catch me today, brainworms. Critical juncture in the game, and we have Daryl falling under 8 minutes to Daniel's nearly 13. I think white sees the issue. Okay, we have a move. I don't think this is going to do what Daryl wants it to do, because we have this unfortunate weakness now in the position. It looks like we've solved all the problems, because now queen e4 doesn't exactly do what it did before. But see, it looks like we're defending everything, right? But we're not, because of this. And moves like h5, excuse me, h5 to h4, right? Whether or not Daniel will see that remains to be seen. But man, I'm getting all messed up here. G3. Boom. Okay. Whether or not he sees that will remain to be seen, right? What to do? I mean, significant development here, because we have moves like h4, just cracking everything open, and I think you have, and there we go. We have it on the board, and I think probably Daryl's realizing that this is not ideal, to put it lightly, right? If you take here, I mean, goodness gracious, this is just, I'll put it this way, it's no longer a draw. So I'm really curious to see how Daniel takes advantage of G3. No matter what you do, I think it's going to be consequential. For instance, if we just go through a couple lines here. I mean, it's hard to look at, right? Because the king can't. I would love to go to G2, but I can't. It's not going to happen. King F2 looks fine. But then we get Queen H1, for instance. And weaknesses everywhere. Takes is not fun. Queen F3. Hitting everything. Everything, everywhere. It's very rough. Okay, we have a move on the board. Let's take a look at what was decided here. Instead of what we went over after the move h4, we have c3 seemingly protecting everything, But there is a very concrete threat of h3 and queen g2. That is, and he plays it immediately. Probably while I was talking, he wasn't even thinking, he just played it. He knows it. Good on him. Very difficult game. What do you do? What can you do? The only thing you can do here is move out of the king side and accept a flurry of checks that will send you across the country, and not like on an adventure, like running for your life, essentially. So let's take a look. What do you have to do here? You have to run. You have to run away. King f1, king f2. And this is game. This is the whole game here. And it does not matter how many times you check the king. You run out of checks anyways, right? It doesn't matter how many pawns you take, because everything's fallen apart, unfortunately, for white. Very brutal. Very brutal indeed. I think that was probably played immediately. I'd be curious to go back and see. And I think probably resignable. Probably resignable. Very tricky, very tough. These things happen. Maybe Daryl expected him to capture on g3, and that he would have to work with that queen f3 move. But h3 just too tempting, not to play. And I mean, what else can you say? What else can you say? It's tough. It's very tough. I wonder if my club has people playing, because I invited people. Nope, nobody. Terrible. Oh well. I tried. These things happen. Yeah, very difficult to get people to show up for a tournament, even online. Let me just put out an update on that. Yeah, I tried to invite folks ahead of time, but it's one of those things, like, unless people show up, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. Very frustrating, but you do what you can, I'll try again next week. I'll invite more people next week. Five viewers. Wow. Tremendous. Invite your friends, bring your family, all that good stuff. You will excuse me. I'm eating my dinner, which is Cracker Barrel. It's tremendous. It's tremendous. Very, very happy with my dinner. In fact, bacon. Okay. There we are. I would say that black has this one. White is at 2 minutes. Black is at nearly 10 minutes. Just alone, that's probably enough. But the position is rough. I agree, Jim. It is a good game. It's very instructive, I think, on this pawn structure. Love bacon. It's instructive on this pawn structure and on weaknesses in the position in general. If we go back, I said it was going to be instructive, whatever the result, but if we go back, really the best option was queen back because it took away that avenue for white. Excuse me, for black. It took away that march down into these important squares and just causing havoc in the position. A lot of this game has been centered around this file here, this open D file. Look at all the exchanges on the file. 1, 2, 3, right? It's all around this D file. And very good move by Daniel here, H5, to create some imbalances. He's got the file. And I think that's what the deciding factor was. And this, unfortunately, just opens up the king. But there really is no surefire way out here. You kind of have to play queen b8, I believe. Yeah, it's brutal, man. Looks like we do have a win for the black pieces here. I think either a resignation or a timeout. Very good game from these two. As always, they're solid players. Just that one mistake, allowing the queen in, that's what decided it, which is exactly what happens when... Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. Sometimes the board doesn't update. Let's see. Takes, check. I think I predicted this. Not that it's difficult, but apparently this is the position. Not sure what's up with the time situation. But yeah, what's in the world? The board is dancing around like crazy, man. I think maybe they played quick. King back here. What? I have a feeling this was a win. I think they're analyzing right now. Yeah, it's a win for black. Okay. Very good game. I'm going to save this game. I'm going to add collection. Cat hair 7,898 or whatever we're on. Okay. And I'm going to get a nice fresh game going for the next... next game. Well, let's run a review, see how we're doing, see what it says. You know, I think that was a good game. Good game by both of them. I'm gonna take a break real quick. Give me one moment. Let's see. Okay. I'll take a break real quick. I'll be right back. I promise. That didn't work. I feel silly. Be right back. We've got the legend himself here, Daniel Gill, everyone. If he's around, if he wants, maybe he could tell us in chat how he thought the game went. Because I know what I said was it probably should have been a draw. Save that one mistake. I'm wondering, and I know you didn't hear any of that, I'm wondering if you have any insight, Daniel. What say you? Pretty accurate game. I mean, not much wrong here. Just that one move. Yeah. It's brutal, man. Very high evaluation from chess.com. Good on you. 2,500 allegedly to 2,200. But let's take it with a grain of salt. Excellent game. Excellent game. We're going to see... Oh, here he is. Okay. Oh. Got it. Yeah, that's basically what I said as well. Yeah, we're in agreement. Cool. Matt is winning versus Ethan. Okay, neat. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm going to put these memes on so I can eat my food. I'll be right back. Oh, thank God. Somebody's here for the memes. You like those memes? Oh, goodness me. I made them today. They're fresh. Fresh memes about grown men getting destroyed by 10-year-old chess players and you know, all sorts of relatable things. God, that's good. Oh, Sinatra, what happened? That was funny as heck. I didn't even do anything. Rat? Girl versus rat, what? What you talking about? Sounds like a horror movie. That's funny. Okay. Wow, that was quick. Not even a courtesy text. Hey, it's starting. Oh, just started. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Jason. Now I get to piece it back together. Thanks a lot. Okay, let's take a look, why don't we? At this game. Round 2. We have Daniel versus Matthew. And oh my goodness, Dakaro Khan. Oh, happy day. A 2 knights Karo Khan with bishop g4. h6, excuse me, h3. Takes. e6, just like clockwork. Theory. No. Not Siri. Theory. It kind of sounds like Mike Tyson is trying to say Siri. But, you know, it's all good. So what do we have here? Okay. This is, I am familiar with this line. This is the line that Bobby Fischer played against all of the Soviet Union, I think in 1958 or 1959. In, was it Yugoslavia? I don't quite remember. But he played like the entire Soviet team, and like 4 of them played the Karo Khan in this line. 3 of them played... 3 of them played the takes on f3 variation. The last one played the retreat variation. Maybe it wasn't Yugoslavia. Maybe it was... Well, wherever it was, the entirety of the Soviet Union played against Bobby Fischer in this line. And Bobby Fischer actually ended up playing g3 instead of bishop to e2. Probably not in that order, but you understand what I mean. And I have a feeling that Matthew is well-versed in this opening. For some reason, something comes to me and tells me that. But But okay, knight to d7. Knight to d7. Very interesting. Some would say passive, but I mean, what else can you do? You play knight f6. You play bishop c5. It's fine. Knight d7 is fine. You play c5, but you know that would have the unfortunate fact of hanging this pawn. So don't do that. What to do? I mean, after knight d7, a move like d4 probably should be played. Much more conservative approach with d3 is possible, but not recommended. I think we would like that space advantage in the Caro-Kann for white here. My question is, where will black put the knight on d7? Will he put it onto g6? On e7 rather. Will he put it on g6 or what? What will he do? I wonder. We could have a very reserved game here. See, what I like to do is push here and then go my knight from e7 to c6. But you know, we'll see. I don't think this sparks joy. It's okay, but it does not spark joy, in my opinion. And here I really would see probably g3. But we'll see what kind of a mood. Well, this really takes two here, obviously. We'll see what kind of a mood they're in regarding this opening. If they're going to open it up or if they're just going to put brick and mortar on everything and close it down like that, what was it, Edgar Allan Poe? Behind the brick wall. Never to be heard from again. That's kind of how the advanced Caro feels at times. Of course, this isn't an advance, but it could be. It could be. You're missing the opportunities. Okay. We have an interesting development. Takes. I don't agree with that. Purely because d4 is not as strong now. It's not as strong now. Black has squeezed out with more of the center than he probably should have in a Caro-Kann. In this variation at least. And d4 on the board. So what now? I mean, this knight's awkward where it's at. f5 is a nice choice. What do you think, kitty cat? It says, go away, I hate you. Oh, okay. Yeah, f4 is a good spot to hit that d4 pawn. And in concert with knight c6, good pressure, you know. So we'll see. Okay. Okay. So, I know this is thematic in some lines. In this line, I don't believe it's thematic. But that's okay. It's not like it's losing or anything. It's just not... I just think black has to pressure the center. Like, I feel like black had the opportunity to... oh wow, this hasn't updated. I'm sorry. Black has not has the opportunity to pressure d4, which is white's main, well, only stake in the center. And I think it would dictate the pace of the game, give black the initiative to continuously develop and attack that central pawn. But knight g6, I think, surrenders that initiative, if that makes sense. Where to go? I mean, if we're honest, it's even. It's going to be even for a while, barring any acts of God, just like the last game. White could even play, could even castle on the queen side, and I think it would be fine. But I think a move like, a move like this is natural. Well, maybe not ideal. Castles as well is natural. Okay, so Daniel, I think, has seen... Let's fix the names, why don't we? Daniel, I believe, has seen those... God, I gotta spell this correctly. Radeskoski. Okay. I think Daniel has seen the games before, at the very least. So this G3 move is straight out of Robert James Fisher, right out of his playbook. It's very good. 2 people watching. That's tremendous. If I could get that to, I don't know, anything other than 2, that would be awesome as well. These things happen. Whatever. G3, controlling some key squares. It looks weakening. It's not. This is fine. Knight C6 is natural. It should probably be played, and it is. Very good. Attacking D4. Bishop E3 is the natural response, and that's exactly what should be played. That's it. Full stop. Everything else is wrong. Play Bishop E3. Kidding, of course, but I would play Bishop E3. That's what I'm getting at. You could play Queen D3, but I don't know why you would. I would just play Bishop E3. Like a human being. Defending. There we go. There it is. Tremendous. Well. What next? Bishop D6 seems natural. Bishop E7, very passive, but okay. Queen B6 is begging to be played in my eyes here. More or less forces queenside castle, unless you play back to C1, but very natural square for the queen in this position, considering the knight on C3. Earlier on, a move like knight D1 would have been interesting just to play C3. Of course, you'd basically be forced to castle kingside at that point, but in our Caro-Kann, you know, with d4 being on its own, it would really appreciate that queenside castle. Otherwise, c3 is a must. And that's the truth. Okay, bishop b4, just active at least. And I wonder if queenside castle will fall on the board anyways. You know, we could have something like this, which is certainly not ideal, but you know, who knows? Some people just love castle and queenside. Alternatively, kingside castle would be more or less even. And who am I kidding? We're, no matter what, essentially we're even here at this given point in time. I suppose black perhaps wants e5 in the future, which would explain knight g6. I think the thing to do, though, is to go for f4. Really forces white to react. But that's just me. I play the Caro-Kann a lot, and that's something that I would do. Something that I would do. Any of the 2.5 people out there play the Caro-Kann? Jim. Watching a friend. Helping a friend watches Tesla. Guy came. Oh, Jesus. Very good, Jim. Very good. I approve. I approve this message. I've put a poll out there for y'all. Are you alive? We'll see who responds. Yes. Good. Goodness me. Apparently the clocks are messed up, but it doesn't really matter because I have the... I don't even have them on. Just a second. Kitty cat. That is enough dinner for you. That is the third dinner this evening. Cut it out. Well, I did my best. I did all I could. We have a3 on the board. Very interesting. Somewhat of, I would consider, a waste of tempo, considering I think black was just going to take anyways. I'm wrong. He retreated. That's fine. That's fine. It was quick. And again, a quick b4. Very quick. We're going to have an end game, and a rather interesting one at that, with the very solid structure the Caro-Kann provides, and the somewhat disjointed c-pawn back here. Very interesting. I imagine that it will be supported enough to make the c4 push. We have bishop back to b6, very solid place for the bishop, pressuring d4. Pressuring d4, as indicated on to screen. Move like rook d1 would defend it again. I wonder if Daniel will go for it, though. Queenside castle would be risky, but interesting? Maybe interesting's not the word. We have a 100% response rate. Oh, never mind. Yeah, there's one viewer. Tremendous. Outstanding. Well, I just love going to all this effort for one person. And I would do it again. Over and over again. Rook d1 on the board. Tremendous. It just makes me feel a certain way because I definitely work hard to get people out to these streams and events. But when it comes time for me, man, it's apparently it's pretty rough. Not trying to complain or anything. Well, I am complaining, but it's all good. It's all good. No worries. No worries. What to do? What to do? Well, first of all, castling would be tremendous. I think it would accomplish quite a bit. The moves kind of play themselves here, but mostly castles comes to mind. And queen e7 or queen, well, not queen e7. That removes the square. Queen d7 or castles, really, it's got to be, you know, the only way forward, the only reasonable way. But I think it's very standard Caro-Kann. I was happy to see this g3 move because it went into territory that I understand. Queen d7, castles, really, those are the only good options here. Castles, and I suppose castles. Black can start an attack. Pushing those pawns, you know. If you don't start an attack, you're just kind of going to sit there and wait for white to come at you. So probably best to start an attack. What else? I mean, a move like this is tempting, but this doesn't do much. We just run back. Or maybe even not run back. Maybe we leave it and we break in the center. This doesn't mean as much, right? Because tactics. And all of a sudden, you know, we can take like this. We can take with the probably the A pawn's better. There's some ideas here. There's some ideas here. Quite a long pontification here by Matthew. That's a pretentious word for a thought that occurs in your head, pontification. And if I could zoom out on my screen here, that would be great. There we go. Yeah, nothing. Castles is the clear, obvious move. Perhaps he's considering some tactics. Perhaps he's considering e5 immediately. Let's take a look at e5 immediately. I think opening the position, well, that would be bad. He's probably not considering that. I'm just bad, so I thought about it. Okay, castles, good. This is good. This is normal. Probably going to see kingside castle from white. If I had to place bets, I would say kingside castle from white. or perhaps knight to b4 with the intention, excuse me, knight to a4 with the intention of putting the knight on c5, although if we're honest, b6 sort of just eliminates that. Very interesting. h4. Grabbing more space. Okay. Perhaps preparing... well, no, that wouldn't work. That would drop the pawn. Grabbing more space. Perhaps preparing to launch forward again with a triumphant pawn push and these devastating pieces all coming into action. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I certainly don't. Now, what do you do about this? I think this knight is misplaced. It's got to go back. It's got to go back. And, I mean, what else could you do? F5 was an idea before, but now H5, you know, knight back. It looks fine. I think we'll probably end up seeing something like this. The issue is H6, and all of a sudden Daniel is repeating his performance in the last game, pushing that pawn all the way up. If a move like G6, this is a tremendous weakness forever now. And we're going to have to find something better. I wonder, can you go back? No, you don't want to allow this. That does not spark joy. No, not one bit. That's going to be a no. I'm going to say a no for that plan. And unfortunately, the normal H5 in the Caro is not going to work here for obvious reasons. So I wonder if I move like E5. Still, no, that still drops. I think black is wanting a move like E5, but as it's just stated, it drops things, right? If the knight was on E7, it would not drop things. So a knight back to E7 would actually accomplish what black is probably considering. It's tough, though. It's tough when you have a plan and your opponent decides that, you know, they're going to ruin it completely, which is what they're supposed to do, but it still hurts. Knight G to E7. It's got to be Knight G to E7. Final answer. Final answer. What do you know? Knight G to E7. My man. He's got it. All right. And I wonder now, because this square is taken away, if B5 will find its way onto the board. Uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Does weaken A5, but, you know, that's not exactly something black wants to do. I'll put it that way. If I had to guess, move like this, you know, we're eyeing this square here. These pawns are all wackadoodle. Go here, attack. Bring it back. I mean, there's so many options, you know. So many options, but I think B5 is strong here. It's hard to switch from the king side to the queen side all of a sudden. But I've been surprised before. I've been surprised before. What else? Castles is reasonable. Reasonable. I think, like we were talking about before, you know, that knight belonged on F5. It would allow knight F5. So if white is considering that, Yeah, maybe h5 anyways. You know, regardless of knight f5, which dogpiles on this poor pawn here. Allows queen g4 defending and threatening things in the future, but hard to see ahead, right? A move like h5 is difficult to play when you're uncastled, king in the center, and it goes against your better judgment and chess principles in general. Ugh. Excuse me. There was always knight a4 hitting the bishop. I think it's rather forced that this ends up fine for black. And I think I mentioned this earlier. This is not as consequential as you'd think because we just go back completely, or you know, maybe here. We seem to be at a crossroads here. I'm going to take a moment. If white does b5, should black play knight b4 or bishop a5? So, if b5, I see. So the question was knight. The question was knight b4 or bishop a5. Bishop to a5 is interesting, but we just keep kind of some tension on the board. If takes and takes, king f1 I think is the best move. And now we're just here, I think. These pawns, not my favorite in the world, probably would not be Daniel's favorite either. Let's go back. If a knight b4, that doesn't work because it gives up a knight. I think maybe you meant knight a5. So like bishop a5 or knight a5. Bishop a5 is an interesting counterattack. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it makes sense. I like that a lot. Problem is, you know, you basically have to take it. You can't defend because this hangs now. And everything is having a hard time here. Knight a5 is less... I think it's less ideal because it's just awkward. And we definitely don't want to play a move like knight to b8. That just makes us all sad. But again, it's, you know, not terrible. But that's an interesting... I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting. Takes, takes, king f1. Takes. I really don't think the king minds being here. I think he wants to hide on g2. And these guys are connected and we're good to go. Very good point. Very good point. Okay, in my analysis, I missed some moves. So, sorry about that. Bishop is attacked. Knight f4, takes take. Okay. Very interesting. So, in a roundabout way, my original recommendation for black, after this and that, and back, we're finally there. The queen's landed on b6, and we're attacking the daylights out of d4, which is good. c3 defending. Very awkward pawn structure. Black should be very happy with this. You don't like to have these backward pawns like this. A move like a5, breaking this up, would be tremendous. I don't expect him to find a move like that on the spot there, because it doesn't feel good to play. You like your pawns together, but it would really break everything up, I think, in favor, in black's favor, especially because this king is in the center. And generally we want to break in the center when the king's in the center, but there's no option for us here. There's no option because d5 hangs. And yeah, playing against this awkward structure, I think, would be very beneficial for black. But instead, we have knight takes. And decision. Take towards the center and create another backwards pawn, or do you take with the queen? It's tough. It's tough. I would probably take with the queen. I like my king to be safely behind the pawns, to have options. Yeah, this isn't my favorite, but it's not a deal breaker. And neither is this. Honestly, neither of those moves are going to make it or break it, but these rooks come to the center, and you know, a break in the center, that's what's going to be consequential, I think. That's what's going to be consequential. So we'll see. Queen takes. Very good. What to do? Well, not really immediately clear. I do like a5, breaking everything up, because what do? I mean, if you take, that's bad. If you castle, we can take. If a takes, we get in here. And I suppose we could defuse the situation like so. But I like this file for me if I'm looking at this game. If you don't take, excuse me, if C takes, well, that just, you know, that's uncomfortable long term. We can start to hit this weakness. Play a move like this, get the rook to the open file. A5 really is the way to go here. Hard to see, though. Oh, wow. He found it. Look at you go. Hopefully he doesn't have AirPods in. Or a Neiman device. Very good find by black. Positionally, excellent. What to do? What to do? B5 is still on the table, but it's a little more awkward now. Ignoring it completely is probably the way to go. Probably castles, just getting out of the center. Especially with all of this opening up. That's rough. Very rough. We're down to 10 minutes and 13 minutes. But give me a moment while I get something to drink. And we're back. Tremendous. I say we. What I really mean is myself and this other viewer, whoever you are. Thank you so much for being you. Nothing's changed. Sparkling water. That's changed for me at least. Tremendous. Yeah, nothing's changed. White is spending a good amount of time on this because it's so consequential. Okay, we have a move. Very good move. The best move, actually. Now, if you look at this objectively, black has all his pieces on the queen side. White has to attack the king side. He just has to. Strike while the iron is hot, if you will. In the future, moves like bishop d3, queen g5 will be useful. Black has to find a way to survive this. What do you do when you have pawns coming at you? Well, the instinct is to play h6. And I think that's met with g4 and g5. However, we have other things going on. Takes, for instance. And a rook here would be good pressure for black. The question is, can black withstand the pressure of the attack and find a move like h6? I mean, what else can you play here? You wouldn't want to push g6. Heck no. Because of, well, what I consider to be very bad threats of checkmate, for instance. Oh, missed that. Well, yeah, whole position falls apart. Excuse me. A little hasty on my part. G6 would be a terrible, terrible disaster of a move. And I don't think we'll see that. Instead, we see pawn takes on b4. Now, the real cash money gangster move here would be h6 anyways. Which would complete an odyssey for this pawn here. The main mover and shaker of this whole game. This would be very aggressive. Oh, and what do you know? He plays it. Very good. G6. And, well, we have to do something about these dark squares, man. I mean, luckily, the knight covers e5, or we'd be having a hard time. Of course, we still have f6, but still, we'd be having a hard time. Moves like queen g5 and queen f6 are not allowed to happen if you're the black pieces here. What do you do? Sorry, mixed up. Now, if you're black, what do? You have to defend. Problem is, defensive moves are hard to play. You have to play a move like queen c7, accessing the dark squares, or at least accessing the second rank, allowing for f6. Of course, in this given moment, moving f6 anywhere, f6 or f5 would be a terrible, terrible mistake. But main idea, you have to defend. If you do go for something like this, I think queen f4, and this is uncomfortable, to say the least. Goes without saying, it's uncomfortable. Okay, we actually have rook a3 on the board, and I wonder if Daniel will see queen f4. or if he's going to opt for maybe queen g5. Wonder what the difference is. Oh, that allows this. Okay. Yeah, got it. Interesting. I'll have to ask him after this what he considered in this moment. Well, I shouldn't ask him because he's got his own breakdown video and everything. So we'll be hearing exactly what he thinks, which is good. I keep freaking out because I see light and I realize it's on my head because I am an idiot. But that's okay. So, what to do? Well, rook a3 looks nasty. It's not, though. Oh, interesting. Now we have b5. Now we have b5. Very interesting. I think that just helps black play knight e7 and find a better position. It should kind of be a snap movement, in my opinion. But perhaps he's concerned about something like this. Now f6 does work, though, because look, the queen defends. That's the hard thing to see. Hard thing to calculate, you know? Because in his head right now, he's probably thinking, okay, he defends e5, so I can't move it, right? No, he moves it. Okay, good. Good on him for seeing that. And yeah, the danger is not... Okay, interesting. We do see queen g5. Now you've got to play f6. You have to... Or queen c7, I suppose, defending, but... You know, if here... Ooh... You gotta play knight f5, and if this... Oh, rook h5. Yo, what? That's gross. Oh my god. That's disgusting. You have a draw. Wow. Ain't nobody playing that nonsense. Oh my god. He plays f6. Thank God for that. There's a funny line in there. Oh my lord. All the way back. Oh goodness me. That's ridiculous. All the way back. Very interesting. Probably Daniel understanding that if he goes anywhere else, he's going to drop a pawn, and he'll get chased around every which way. These pawns looking pretty good from black. G7 not looking too great, but hey, we're going to deal with it. I think it's only natural to play something like rook f to a8 or rook to c8. I would immediately play this because it's just forcing rook c1, for instance. Okay. We have queen a5, sort of for the same reason, right? Forcing move. What to do? Rook c1 defends. Then I think rook c8 continues to pile on. I think you have to break the pin, which is a hard thing to do. Oh, well, never mind. He did it quick. Fascinating. But here, if I'm the black pieces, I'm going to exchange queens, because that's what I do, because I play the Caro-Kann. I'm going to exchange queens, and after rook takes, I'm either going to continue to exchange, or I'm going to play rook c8, like that, right? Of course, maybe you wonder, like, what about this? I think we can undermine this at some point. Getting ahead of myself. 10 minutes for Matthew, 3 minutes for Daniel. I am expecting queen takes d2 check and rook takes. That's what I'm expecting. We will see what these gentlemen choose to do. Black is taking his time, which is fine. That's what you do when you have time. You take it. Otherwise, you're kind of a fool, right? If you don't take your time, you don't want to do that. Very interesting. Queen h4, or queen a4 rather. And we see the eval shift. Doesn't mean too much, right? It means a computer somewhere shed a tear. Doesn't mean that human beings are playing. But why? Well, castles gets out of any danger and the rooks are connected. I think that's why. And this is a little bit problematic if we don't have tactics on the queen side. Granted, we will try to undermine in the future, but I don't know. Something about having that forcing sequence and not taking it. Yeah, okay, C5. Okay. Something about having that forcing sequence and not taking it is probably what did it. Now black is concerned probably about a passed pawn. White should probably be concerned about d4. We have the paradoxical movement again to f5, hitting d4. I wonder if he'll go for it. I wonder. Probably rook c8 is what he's going to play. Which is natural, right? But you know, you wonder, like, at what point does your advantage start to evaporate? Because once we castle and get these rooks, these pawns are actually a little bit dangerous. Rook a2, hitting the queen. Okay, forcing move, queen e3, play it on the board, hitting the pawn. King f7 might have to be played here. Uncomfortable, indeed. King f7, because you worry about you know, maybe a bishop on g4. I don't think it's that consequential, really. Like here, I think there's things we can do to get in the way here. Queen b4. This would be kind of a mistake, I think. Just too many weaknesses. It's got to be king f7. It's hard to play. It's hard to see. It's hard to commit your king to the defense like that, but you have to do it, especially in a position like this. No other option, really. I wonder if he's considering queen b4 check at this point. King f1, king hiding on g2 is coming, I think. Yeah. It's very action-packed. Coming down to the wire here. 2 minutes 45 for Daniel. 8 minutes, roughly, for Matthew. Very interested to see how this continues. I don't know. What do you think out there? Who's going to win? Let's see. I'll put the poll out there. Who will win this game? Daniel with the white pieces or Matthew with the black? All two of you out there can vote. All right, we have a repetition. Queen a5. Is that a repetition? Not really. Sort of a repetition. King f1 and Daniel's okay here, you know? Now king f7. After king f1, king f7. Interesting. Very interesting. There is an idea, bishop d3, and trying to sack for clearance here. And pushing that pawn up. That is wicked. That is wicked and no good, nasty chess. By that I mean very good and nasty chess, right? But devastating chess. I wonder if he'll go for it. He's low on time. He's blitzing out these moves. Move like king g2 potentially comes to mind. A move like, what do you do here? Queen f4? I mean, king g2 on the board. Yeah, you just got to try and improve your position. Knight f5 hits the queen here. It's rough, man. I mean, I don't know. It's knight f5 on the board, hitting the queen. Queen d3, queen f3, queen f4. Not the best. You know, giving up a rook. Excuse me, giving up a bishop. Not the best, right? Yeah, what do you do? I mean, queen d3, I bet you'd have to play. Forget I even said queen f4, moment of weakness. I think I got cross-eyed there for a minute, but queen d3, queen f3. It's got to be one or the other. Everything else, having a hard time, man. Having a real hard time. Queen d3. Okay. Now, I wonder if we'll see a move like rook a3, or perhaps even a move like rook to c8. Very kind of conservative move. Oh, we getting all screwy kablooey again? No, they're just moving quick. We got this on the board. Very good. Moves are happening quicker. I gotta pay attention here. I suppose that's an option, king, but I just want to know who you think will win. If there is a win, I'll put it that way. But it could be. I mean, it could be either one of these guys, in my opinion. All it takes is a mistake. I think Daniel, being low on time, probably will go in Matthew's favor. I'm trying to get this on my phone. There we go. So I don't lose track here. But you're very right. It could be a draw. Daniel, apparently. Okay. Daniel is a higher rated player, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, but I think these pawns perhaps could be an issue if... interesting. I would have traded down and gotten behind these pawns. It's very interesting. I see this weakness here. I wonder if he'll try to exploit it. Tricky to spot, especially in time trouble. Especially considering this guy is falling if you leave this area here. Okay, interesting. G4. Very interesting. I think kind of a weakening move, to be honest. But what do you do when you have a minute left? It's forcing, and I think that goes in Daniel's favor. Hitting a forcing move with a forcing move, like rook a2, would be ideal, probably. And I think, yeah, he'll struggle to find a good response for that. Because we've got tactics now. Overloading the queen here. Queen's overloaded. We could take this. But, you know, we'll see. We have knight back. Would have been a good find, but that's okay. We have knight back, and we have g5 with threats. Threats. Man, that's brutal. It's funny, but you can go right back to f5 and you're fine. That is so weird. And he does. And we have takes. Wow. I mean, king takes seems fine, but rook a2 on the board. Very good. Queen d3. Or perhaps queen f4. That would not be ideal. Giving away the bishop again. Queen d3. He's got to play queen d3, I think. Shows you how well I would do in this situation, right? Queen f4, dropping a whole piece. Hoping for a draw. Very exciting game. Down to the wire here. 40 seconds for Daniel, allegedly. Important to note, this clock is not current. Okay, we have the queen abandoning d4. So this is consequential because d4 falls now. Knight takes d4. Very good move here. Really kind of sealing in the deal here. Sealing in the deal like it's a stake. Sealing the deal here. Knight takes d4 kind of collapses the whole position, if we're honest, which is sort of the theme that I was trying to get at earlier with attacking the center. So, glad that came to pass because now I don't sound so stupid. Knight on f5, very well-placed piece. Perhaps considering king takes or knight takes. I would go with knight takes because this pawn holds the position together. This can always be grabbed afterwards. Daniel falling down to 10 seconds. I believe we may have a loss on time, as in the first game. I'm not certain. Okay, we have takes and bishop g4 rather, excuse me. Knight f5, knight right back to f5, oddly enough. And if takes, we don't want to do that. Got to be careful about that. We have this. Very interesting. Glimmers, rays of hopes. You know, rays of hope. If Matt falls down and hits his head or something during the game, okay, good. Good. Knight f5. If takes, you gotta hope for. You gotta hope if you're Daniel for e takes, but you know, g takes is the way to go. E takes leads to mate in 2. Good. He took with a g-pawn. Very good. Okay. White trying to find a way potentially to... oh, wow. The sack. Very, very interesting maneuver. Okay. That cannot be accepted, folks. So, what he has to do, he has to get those forcing moves on the board. Rook g8 check. Or, okay, rook g8 check on the board. King's got to move. King f1. And he sees the tactics. The tactics are flowing from this position. Very exciting. And probably a resignation or a timeout at this point. The rook falls. The game falls. The flag falls. Everything falls at the same time. Very exciting. Excellent game from these two gentlemen. Rather even game, if I do say so myself, for most of the time. The only time we have, you know, consequential, let's see. The only time we have consequential moves is in the last minute. That's brutal. That's brutal. Very good game. Good win from Matthew. And well played from Daniel, finding all of these plans with h3 to h6, for instance. And just the time situation didn't work out. But these things happen. I'm going to save this game. I'm going to add it to the collection. Cat hair 7 million. I'm going to hit review and I'm going to take a break. We'll be back shortly. All right, we're back. That was a tremendous game. Let's take a look at a couple ideas here. So I think black really should go for knight f5 early here to hit this this d pawn. Bishop e3, rather natural. That's fine. Taking would not be ideal because you'd connect two center pawns, essentially. It wouldn't really bother white much, in my opinion. I think you have to play knight c6. Again, hitting d4. Queenside castle, defending. Nice. Bishop b4, aiming to remove the knight. And what to do? I mean, g4, asking the question of the knight. Now knight takes, queen takes, preserving these three pawns. Excuse me. And quite an even game here. Always play king b1 as per Ben Feingold. And we could go into the most Caroist of cons, the most drawingest of draws. Or if you were just intent on keeping everything, rook d3. I mean, nobody's going to play that, though. I'm glad we did not get a game like this. I'll put it that way. But we have round 3. So never mind the break. Let's let's view round 3. Just started now. Okay, good. That's good. The night is young. We have Ethan, Daniel Gell, and Ethan Eckroat. B3 by Daniel. Nimza Larson attack. Wow. Very interesting. Huh. D3. I'm not quite familiar with this setup, but I'm pretty sure E3 is the way to go. I don't know about this. Perhaps it's some sort of prep, but this is a Nakamura line, from what I can tell. Very modern Nakamura line. There's 7 games. Nakamura playing Grishuk, Neiman, Svein, Akobian, all of these incredible players. So something to it. Caruana's played this as well. I've just never seen it, so there's that. Black trying to grab onto e4. I wonder if perhaps knight f3 seems natural here. But definitely interesting right off the bat. I'm interested to ask Daniel about this. Knight f3 would seem to be the way to go. Perhaps g3 if you're into that sort of thing. But you know, this is already a game I've never seen before. I know this setup by black is fine. I've just not seen d3 on like move 3. That's all. And white going into a think here, trying to find out where to go, what to do. I suppose it's not prep because we have quite a long think on move 4. I'm wrong. The game just isn't updating. That's okay. We have knight f3 and e6. Probably exactly how I would play in this position as well. And it would appear to be somewhat normal after knight b to d2 and, you know, aiming for an e4 push. Wow, going after the bishop. Knight h4. This could have end game implications. Perhaps. Wonder if allowing white to take would be the way to go. Never mind. Open file, I was going to say, kind of like in a London, you allow them to take and you have control over that square. But we're blitzing. It's our favorite reindeer, blitzing. So, you know, we'll see what we can do here, folks. Well, that's bright. Brighter than my future out here, my God. What to do, what to do. H takes. G3 seems to be the way to go. Unless Daniel is feeling spooky about the king side. We have knight bd2 and bishop to d6, rather forcing move here. g3 would prevent any silliness. e3 accepting the silliness would be interesting as well, but you know, either way, I mean, this is not really good. g3, and we're trapped, a la Fischer. I wonder if he sees that. Probably. Probably so. You kind of don't want to go into g3 and kingside castles in this kind of position, but it could still work. Could still work. Perhaps e3, queen f3 and queenside castle, perhaps. Not saying that's the best, but perhaps it's on his mind. Especially when you're looking at a kingside attack from your opponent. Especially with that knight coming in. E3 would, you know, allow defense of that square, so that would be nice. G3 on the board, good. Very good. I think that's probably a good decision. Knight c6, okay. Knight c6, and all of a sudden it's looking more like a Nimzo Larsen. just that d3 move's got me. It's got me curious. That's all. Because I don't play it myself, so I'm wondering if it's just something I haven't seen before. Which there's a lot of those things. In fact, most things in the world I have not seen. So we'll see what we can do here. Bishop g2 is obviously going to follow here. Okay, queen e7. Board's having some trouble updating. That's okay. And this is fine. I'm expecting queenside castles. Excuse me, kingside. Just because it makes the most sense. Maybe even knight to f3. You know, it's hard to tell, right? This is a very double-edged position. Very interesting. We have a4, so already sort of committing to action on the queenside. I think he's going to castle queenside anyways and accept the attack. He says, you want to attack me? I'm going to attack you. That's what I would say, because I am absolutely insane. I would launch an attack because life's too short, and attack, fix bayonets, right? We shall see. We shall see, we shall see. A4. Very interesting. Queenside castle would be nice. Nice and sharp position. Okay, wow. Aiming to trade off the strong b2 bishop. c3, d4 is what I'd be worried about. c3, d4. I mean, what do? You know? Castle. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. Kind of blocks out the bishop for white, so who knows? I wonder how Daniel's going to deal with this. It's been a long night of chess. Been a long night of chess indeed. "23 minutes for Daniel, taking his time. Nothing wrong with that. Queen c8, excuse me, queen c1 would be very, very interesting, kind of passive. I think it just takes, and there we are. E5, ideal center from black, and the hyperest of modern openings from white with the fianchettoed queen. You know, these things happen. However, heyo, a little too far back there. However, we shall see. Good golly, wouldn't it be nice to just play d4 right away? But unfortunately, that's not the nature of reality at the moment. If the knight were on f3, perhaps, but it's not. So, full stop. I wonder. White's still ticking down on time. These things happen. Okay. Takes. Interesting. Very interesting. let's see. Very much anyone's game at this point. Anyone's game. Kingside Castle's begging to be played. Inviting an attack, but still the most solid way forward here. Kingside Castles, c5, for instance. Leaving the king in the center. Or perhaps Queenside Castle. Allowing white to begin the assault. I think c5 is more consequential for this game. And what do you do? I mean, rook c1, rook e1, knight f3, probably. Takes, and all right, we do actually have a move on the board here. White launching forward, e4. That makes sense. It seems to be well supported. King is in the center, so opening the center is a little interesting with this kind of thing going on here. Move like knight c6 comes to mind. You can't take because that doesn't spark joy. Does not spark joy whatsoever. But, you know, what are we doing here kind of a thing. And the most boring game in history unfolds once everything gets exchanged. We kind of wonder what's going on. But I don't think we'll see that personally. I think these guys want blood, which is great. The people love, you know, a gladiator duel. What could black do here? Black's got to deal with this center. Takes would be interesting. Especially if he castles queenside, would open the file. But, I mean, really, you know, takes, knight takes, and queenside castle is what I would expect. And kingside castle. And the world continues to spin. Luckily, this is not free. Queenside castle, wow. Immediately, queenside castle, interesting. That's another option. That opens the door for d4, though, which is a very interesting push. d4, knight c6, and e5. Woof. And knight f3 defending. Very even game. Very interesting. Ethan's just going for it, man. I love it. I like the unorthodox opening from Daniel as well, because if I was playing against it, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just be like, all right, I'll just put all my pieces in the center and we'll call it a day. But he's got an interesting pawn structure. He's got interesting attacking ideas, especially with this bishop. You know, arcing across that, I almost said field, the board, right? Got these pawns, they can pawn storm. There's a lot of ideas here. I like it. It's interesting. Queen e2, staying flexible. Wow. Stepping out of the pin. Very interesting. Kind of makes you wonder. what's going on through his head right now. Perhaps he's trying to work this pin now, this X-ray, and create some sort of pin. I think that would be difficult to do, but I think most of all this is just flexible. And that's good. What do we have here? Are we playing matches? This is not my normal Tuesday thing. I tried to invite people, but they didn't show up, so it didn't. The Tuesday tournament didn't happen. This is actually a tournament from Waco that's being played live over the board, and I'm doing the commentary for it. So that's what we have right now. I wish we were doing our thing today, but people just didn't turn up. So, you know, it's all good. I got to try again next week, reaching out to people and seeing if they're going to show up. So we do what we can. Queen E2, staying flexible. What to do, what to do? Well, shifting the queen over to the queen side would be, I think, a good policy. Eliminating the usefulness of this knight with like this or that, hitting a pawn, you know. Simple chess. King B1 is, King B8. Not the worst move, but there's probably better moves. Wow, okay. D4, locking the center. I don't know. F4 is begging to be played immediately. In my view, F4 is begging to be played, followed by knight C6, potentially E5. Just opening the position, really. Knight C6. E5 seems like a must here. I mean, knight D5 kind of locks everything back up. You're threatening this. What do you do? Suppose you got to take. Very interesting. F4 on the board. Good. Very good. So, knight C6 on the board, and probably E5 immediately if I were him. If I know him at all. E5 immediately. Cats are fighting. That's awesome. These two are just the funniest, I swear. Beating each other up. It's hilarious. Some hesitation from white. I think E5 is the way to go. But maybe he's concerned about moves like G5 breaking up the pawn structure. Who knows? All I know is these cats are hilarious. It's better than MMA, I swear. Look at him. Look at him go. I love it. Still some hesitation from white, going down 16 minutes. Back to reality. Okay. In fact, I should probably put in the names. And I will. Daniel Gill. Ethan McRoad. Good. Look. I love it. Oh my God, it's funny. Tremendous. Big calculation going on here. I wonder what's going through his mind here. We're going to hear all about it in the analysis. The analysis video afterwards. So stay tuned for that. Check out Daniel's channel, Daniel Gell. I'd recommend putting chess at the end of that. Okay, castles, wow. After a long think, castles. That'll do, that's fine. That is fine. Okay, back to the game. So, what to do? I mean, e5. For the same reason, just to stop e5, in my opinion. E5 would be good for black because, as stated, it stops e5, locks up this diagonal. If takes, you know, you're fine. Like everything is fine, and nothing is wrong. Everything is fine and nothing is wrong. It might force h3, you know, worrying about this kind of deal. As opposed to everything's wrong and nothing's all right. Everything is fine. And nothing is wrong. What to do? What other moves come to mind? I mean, king b8, obviously. e5 on the board. Never mind. e5 on the board. Good move. Very good. Very good move. I mean, Daniel knows taking is not in the cards for him. He knows that it's not good for him. It's not his first day, right? Knight c4 would be nice. Kind of forcing either a capture or forcing, you know, defense. I mean, would it force anything though? Let me think about that. I don't necessarily think it would force anything. Okay, knight c4 on the board. So he's got it. He's got it. Knight c4 is on the board. Attacking the base of the pawn chain. Very good. Knight d7 would allow for f6, which would really shore up that pawn structure for the future. That bishop on g2, not the best, because this is all locked down. it would be really nice if white had h3, but he does not because of the rook. So, I mean, what do you do? What do you do, you know? I don't quite know. What do you do? Probably knight d7. And f6 is black's plan. White, I mean, it'd be nice to make some progress. You know, maybe it's tough, right? Because you'd like to put your rooks here and you'd like to charge, but abandoning f4, excuse me, is not ideal. You certainly don't want to take the g pawn. So a5 charging forward. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, it's because everything you do creates another weakness to deal with. All right, we have a move, and it's very natural. We have rook h6, which is good. I like it. Reason I like it is you're pressuring white, who's lower on time, by 6 minutes. You're going to double. You're going to create pressure, and you're dictating the pace of the game here. And I think that's good for black. I mean, how do you meet that? Like, what do you have to do? h4? That's uncomfortable, right? Locking that down. It works for the time being, but very weakening for the king. Not an obvious way to exploit in the present moment for black, but you know, in the long run, probably not ideal. Okay, h3 on the board, and I think I would be curious to see if black just does it anyways, hoping for something in the future. But you know, at the moment, I mean, really that knight d7 idea and f6, that's really the most solid way forward. You certainly don't want to take on f4. You don't want to push any of these pawns at all. So, man, what do you do here? Knight d7 is not the easiest thing in the world to see. Backwards knight moves, kind of lame, right? But if we just look at this, rook h8, it's not terrible, but how do we crack open the king side? That's the question. Can we play b4? If takes, do you play rook here? No, you don't. I'm dumb. You play knight takes e5 because now you've... Okay. Huh. So you can deflect this knight away from e5 or the queen. And if you don't do anything about it, that's a mistake. If you take with the queen, you could still take with I suppose you take this way now. Knight d7. The heck was that? Huh. Sorry, I'm rambling. I think I'm just obsessed with this b4 idea now. It's hard to see. Okay, knight h5 is interesting. Knight h5 is interesting, hitting an obvious, weak point, right? Queen g4 check. It's a check. I see a check. I give a check. F takes. This isn't actually solid because you can win it through tactics, but that's not the easiest to see immediately for them at the board. His tactics seem to flow better on the computer, anyways. Knight h5. I mean, I think it's you don't want your knight to get trapped either. That's another thing. You don't want your knight to get trapped. And I think it looks like a good threat, but it's sort of hollow threat at the moment because of queen g4. So, I mean, for instance, like takes. Now it would be threatening. Check. Now it's very much a threat, but we get away, more or less. This is just uncomfortable, but that's a long meandering line that is not, you know, you're not going to take here. I mean, nobody's going to do that. All right, we have queen g4 check. So we had a version of that. That was going to be the next line. f5? King b8. King b8 played. All right. Back to white. Eliminating the threat, probably in both of their minds, is fine. I mean, takes. So this is just like same thing as before. I don't expect to see it, but Daniel's a very good player, and who knows? It's just hard giving up g3 because it looks so devastating. Okay, he takes the other way. So he probably saw some sort of vision of that in a way, and where he found exactly that idea. It could be that after f takes, the rook opens up and you have attacking chances, regardless of losing g3. Knight takes, queen takes. It's got to happen. Unless he moves the queen. That wouldn't make any sense. It's really the only thing you can do, right? Or maybe he's considering rook takes. No, that doesn't make sense either. No, he's got to take. I mean, he's got to take. Let's be honest, right? Like, what else is he going to do there? It's got to be takes. Knight takes. It's got to be. What else is there? I struggle to find anything. And I would struggle even more at the board. Very tricky. I wonder what he's seeing. He's probably just calculating out the attack on g3, deciding, you know, basically if it's okay. Because if we have this and this, that's different, right? Because now, not here, sorry. Now, you know, we're in this business here. Or is that good? I mean, it doesn't look bad. I think this is pretty good for white. The pawn structure. Okay, interesting. So, rook f3, f5. Very interesting. And if I'm seeing this correctly, rook takes f5. Why? Am I seeing it correctly? Why? I'm missing something. Let me make sure this is the board here. Let me make sure this is the board. Because I don't know why not this? What's the issue? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't think Black understands. I don't think Ethan understands, because you just take the rook and there's no danger. Okay, it was rook f7. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. This is a mess up with the board. I guess he did take on f7. Knight takes, queen takes. Knight takes, queen takes. Rook f7? Huh. Okay. I guess that's the correct... Okay, that's good, because that makes sense. Okay. Apparently this is the current position on the board that I have. Huh. I'm going to go ahead and... If DGT is being weird, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. That's rough. This is anybody's game, but it's all good. All right. Well, good night, everybody.